It's early morning in the South China Sea. A Chinese amphibious assault group is moving southeast from Hainan Island. 3 Type 071 landing ships, escorted by destroyers and frigates, their decks loaded with landing craft and helicopters. The formation is maintaining radio silence. Transponders are off. Satellite passes won't cover this area for another 6 hours. By then, the ships could be anywhere within a 100-mile radius. From the surface, they're invisible. From space, they're intermittent. But from 50,000 feet, they've been tracked continuously since they left port. High above the cloud deck, invisible to anyone below, a single aircraft has been circling for 18 hours. No pilot, no crew, just sensors, data links, and enough fuel to stay on station for another 12 hours if needed. Its radar is sweeping thousands of square miles of ocean every few minutes, tracking every surface contact, cataloging every movement, transmitting every data point back to commanders hundreds of miles away in real time. The ships below have no idea they're being watched, but they are, and they have been since the moment they started moving. This is how the United States tracks China from 50,000 feet. The aircraft is the MQ-4C Triton, a high-altitude, long-endurance unmanned surveillance platform built by Northrop Grumman specifically for maritime intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance. ISR, in simple terms, means watching, recording, and understanding what's happening in a given area, then passing that information to the people who need it. The Triton does this over the ocean, at altitudes where manned aircraft can't sustain operations for long, and for durations that would be physically impossible for a crew to endure. The Triton is derived from the RQ-4 Global Hawk, the Air Force's high-altitude reconnaissance drone, but it's been fundamentally redesigned for a different mission. Where the Global Hawk was built to watch land, the Triton was built to watch water. That difference matters more than it sounds. Ocean surveillance requires different sensors, different flight profiles, and different operational priorities. The Triton carries a multifunction active sensor radar optimized for detecting and tracking ships across vast distances. It has electro-optical and infrared cameras for identification. It has an automatic identification system receiver to cross-reference radar contacts with civilian maritime traffic, and it has communication systems that allow it to relay everything it sees back to command centers and other platforms in near real time. This isn't a weapons platform. The Triton doesn't carry missiles or bombs. It doesn't shoot. It watches. And in modern naval operations, watching is often more strategically valuable than shooting. Because if you know where every adversary ship is, where it's going, and what it's doing, you can position your own forces, plan your operations, and respond to threats before they materialize. The Triton provides persistent maritime domain awareness. It turns the ocean, which is vast, opaque, and difficult to monitor, into a space where the United States has near continuous visibility. The reason the Triton exists, the reason it was designed and deployed specifically to the Indo-Pacific, is that this region is the strategic center of gravity for U.S. defense planning in the 21st century. And the ocean is where the competition plays out. The South China Sea is one of the most contested maritime spaces in the world. China claims most of it under the 9-dash line, a claim that overlaps with the exclusive economic zones of the Philippines, Vietnam, Malaysia, and Brunei. China has built artificial islands in disputed waters, fortified them with airstrips and missile batteries, and uses them as forward operating bases for military and paramilitary forces. These islands extend China's ability to project power, complicate freedom of navigation, and create ambiguity about who controls what in one of the busiest shipping lanes on the planet. Taiwan is the other focal point. A potential Chinese move against Taiwan, whether through blockade, invasion, or coercion, would require a massive naval operation. Amphibious ships, escorts, supply vessels, all moving in coordination across the Taiwan Strait. The United States has made clear that it has a strategic interest in Taiwan's security, but deterring or responding to Chinese action requires knowing what China is doing in real time. You can't respond to a blockade you don't see forming. You can't intercept an amphibious group if you don't know where it is. Visibility is the foundation of response. China's naval expansion adds urgency to this problem. The People's Liberation Army Navy now operates more ships than the U.S. Navy. It has aircraft carriers, modern destroyers, advanced submarines, and a growing fleet of amphibious assault ships designed for power projection. Chinese naval activity in the South China Sea, around Taiwan, and into the Western Pacific has increased steadily for years, and much of that activity is designed to probe, test, and complicate U.S. and allied responses. China doesn't always announce its exercises. It doesn't always make its movements transparent. And in a crisis, that opacity could lead to miscalculation, escalation, or surprise. The Triton's role is to remove surprise, to make Chinese naval movements visible, trackable, and predictable, to provide the U.S. and its allies with the information advantage needed to maintain strategic stability and respond effectively if stability breaks down. What makes the Triton uniquely suited for this mission is its combination of altitude, endurance, sensor capability, and networking. The Triton operates at altitudes above 50,000 feet. At that altitude, it's above most weather, above commercial air traffic, and effectively out of range of most short-range air defenses. It's not invulnerable. Advanced surface-to-air missiles can reach it, and sophisticated adversaries with long-range systems could engage it if they chose to. But engaging a surveillance drone operating in international airspace would be a significant escalation, and most nations are reluctant to cross that threshold. The altitude gives the Triton a degree of operational freedom that lower-flying platforms don't have. Endurance is the more important factor. The Triton can stay airborne for 24 to 30 hours on a single mission. That's an entire day of continuous surveillance over a single area, or a long transit to a distant patrol zone, hours on station, and a return flight, all without landing. Compare that to a manned patrol aircraft like the P-8A Poseidon, which has an endurance of around 8 to 10 hours depending on mission profile. The P-8A is more capable in some ways. It carries more sensors, it can drop sonobuoys for anti-submarine warfare, and it has a crew that can make real-time decisions. But it can't stay on station as long. The Triton can. And in maritime surveillance, persistence is often more valuable than versatility. The sensor suite is optimized for wide-area maritime surveillance. The multifunction active sensor radar can detect and track surface vessels across a search area of over 1 million square miles in a single mission. That's not hyperbole. That's the designed capability. The radar operates in multiple modes, providing both broad search and focused tracking depending on mission requirements. If the radar detects a contact of interest, the Triton can zoom in with its electro-optical and infrared sensors to identify the vessel visually, determine its type, and assess its activity. All of this happens autonomously or with minimal operator input. The real force multiplier is the networking. The Triton doesn't just collect data, it shares it. Everything the Triton sees is transmitted via data link to other platforms, ships, aircraft, command centers, and potentially allied forces. This creates a shared situational awareness picture where everyone operating in the area has access to the same information simultaneously. If a Triton detects a Chinese carrier group moving east, that information is available to U.S. surface ships, submarines, P-8A aircraft, and commanders in Guam or Hawaii within minutes. The Triton becomes a node in a larger network, a sensor feeding a distributed kill chain, or more often, a distributed intelligence picture that allows commanders to make informed decisions. The Triton and the P-8A Poseidon are complementary. The Triton provides the wide area, high-altitude, persistent search. It finds the contacts, tracks the patterns, and identifies areas of interest. The P-8A can then be tasked to investigate specific contacts more closely, conduct anti-submarine warfare, or prosecute targets if necessary. The Triton sees the whole picture. The P-8A focuses on the details. Together, they provide a layered surveillance capability that is significantly more effective than either platform operating alone. The strategic value of the Triton is not just in what it sees, but in what that visibility does to deterrence and crisis management. Deterrence relies on the adversary believing that their actions will be detected, understood, and responded to. If China believes it can move naval forces without being seen, it might be more willing to take risks, probe boundaries, or initiate actions that could lead to conflict. If China knows that every ship movement is being tracked in real time, that the U.S. has continuous visibility over contested waters, and that any large-scale operation will be detected immediately, it changes the calculus. Transparency reduces the likelihood of surprise, and reducing surprise reduces the risk of miscalculation. In a crisis, information dominance matters even more. If tensions are rising over Taiwan and China begins moving amphibious forces, having real-time tracking of those movements gives U.S. decision-makers options. They can position their own forces. They can communicate privately with Chinese counterparts to signal awareness and intent. They can coordinate with allies. They can prepare responses. All of that requires knowing what's happening as it happens. The Triton provides that knowledge. Endurance also matters in ways that are less obvious. A surveillance platform that has to return to base every 8 hours creates gaps in coverage. During those gaps, the adversary can move, reposition, or conduct operations that go unobserved. A platform that can stay on station for an entire day eliminates most of those gaps. It allows for continuous monitoring during critical periods. And in a fast-moving crisis, those gaps are where surprises happen. The Triton's deployment reflects a broader shift in how the United States is structuring its presence in the Indo-Pacific. The primary operating base for Tritons in the region is Guam, specifically Andersen Air Force Base. Guam is strategically positioned. It's U.S. territory, so there are no sovereignty or basing permission issues. It's close enough to the South China Sea and Taiwan to allow Tritons to reach patrol areas relatively quickly. And it's far enough from the Chinese mainland that it's not immediately vulnerable to short-range strike systems, though it is within range of longer-range missiles, a vulnerability the U.S. is working to mitigate. Australia is also becoming a key partner in Triton operations. The Royal Australian Air Force is acquiring its own Tritons and will operate them from bases in northern Australia. This extends the coverage area, provides redundancy, and deepens U.S.-Australian operational integration. Australian Tritons will be able to monitor the eastern Indian Ocean, the approaches to Southeast Asia, and the southwestern Pacific, complementing U.S. operations further north. This is networked surveillance at the theater level, with multiple nations operating the same platform, sharing data, and providing overlapping coverage across a vast geography. The shift toward unmanned, long-endurance systems is not just about the Triton. It's a recognition that in contested environments, persistence and survivability often matter more than complexity. A manned aircraft is more flexible, but it's also more vulnerable, more expensive to operate, and limited by crew endurance. An unmanned platform can stay on station longer, take more risks, and operate in environments where losing the aircraft is strategically acceptable. The Triton is part of a broader trend toward distributed, networked, unmanned systems that provide coverage and capability at scale. Modern power projection is not just about the number of ships or the range of missiles. It's about information. Knowing where the adversary is, what they're doing, and what they're capable of is the foundation of effective military operations. In the Indo-Pacific, where the distances are vast, the waters are contested, and the potential for miscalculation is high, having continuous, reliable, wide-area maritime surveillance is a strategic necessity. The Triton provides that surveillance. It watches from an altitude where it's difficult to reach and for durations that no manned platform can match. It sees everything on the surface across areas larger than most countries, and it shares that information instantly with everyone who needs it. That visibility changes the balance of power in ways that are less dramatic than a new missile or a new ship, but often more consequential. Because in the next conflict, the side that sees first may decide the outcome before the first shot is fired.